Hi everyone, thank you for viewing us. So do us a favor, click that big red button down there that says subscribe. When you subscribe, it's totally free to you. Not only is it totally free, but you'll get a notification each Monday when we post new interviews, new insight, and new information. We hope you are enjoying what you're viewing thus far. Please tell your friends about us, tell your family members, your church members. Hey, find a stranger in the street, tell them about it too. We want to take this message to the world. Have a good day, and thank you for watching Alabaster's Box. Thank you for tuning into Alabaster's Box with Tiffany Hayes, where we are inspiring and enriching thoughts. Today, our guest is a phenomenal, well, I call him Peace, but his name is Mathew, and I call him Peace because he appears to be just walking in the grace and the mercy and the peace of God at all times. So I asked him to come and talk to us about servant leadership. Welcome to Alabaster's Box.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, not
it's
a
an
problem.
Honor.
Not a problem at all. Thank you for coming and accepting our invitation. So I want to get right into the interview so that I can make the most of our time here while I have you. Okay. First off, let me ask you, who is Mathew?
Mathew is just a normal guy, a guy saved by God's grace, who a long time ago learned through the hard way not to say no to God and learned how to trust God. And that's basically who I am. I'm a husband, been married for, we're 1990 when we got married, so 27 years. I had to think about that for a second, getting older. And a dad of 4 adult daughters. I have a grandson now, and I am a chaplain serving different corporations here in Hampton Roads, and a pastor. So lots of things, but I'm just a guy that loves God and loves people, and He's just got me doing these things to fulfill that.
Absolutely. So what I hear already, I'm just things are just processing as you talk. What I hear is that you go off of your personal relationship with Christ, and whatever He has you to do, that's what you're going to do.
Absolutely. That's my goal. It doesn't always work out. I don't want to sound like I'm always saying yes to God. But we learn, I think, mostly through our errors and through the hardships in life. It's easy to honor God and give Him praise when everything's going great. But when we're challenged, that's when we learn to walk by faith. And that's what God has taught me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as a pastor, when you're encouraging the congregation, I know personally a lot of times when I'm encouraging someone else, I'm also being encouraged. Do you find that to be the same when you're pastoring? Oh,
absolutely. My goal is to what I teach others and what I preach and what I inspire into others is something that has flowed through me. It's not something external, it's something personal in my walk with God. And that's very important to me. It's because once again, I don't know if you've heard the expression, I've heard pastors pray this prayer, hide me behind the cross, so that people hear Jesus and not me. And that's very important, that what I speak to people flows through me from God. And it has to be born out of something that He has spoken to me about. So
absolutely.
That's what I try to make that my goal every week, and sometimes it's more challenging than others.
Well, I think that is a good statement to share, because I think that sometimes people look at pastors or a prophet or whatever title you have and look at the title and the definition of the title and think that you don't have those things like everyone else as well. But that is not what I'm that is not what I'm hearing.
I to be honest with you, I don't use the word hate a lot, but I hate titles because I think we can be tempted to, rest on those titles call me doctor or call me pastor. Just call me Matt. You can call me Peace. You know, I mean, you know, by the way, you calling me Peace was probably one of the greatest compliments anybody's ever given me. Because when you started calling me Peace, it showed me how what God has given me over the years. And that to me is the most important gift He has given me, you know, in the 25 years I've been serving in ministry.
Wow, 25 years.
Is peace. Yeah, because when He first began calling my wife Scotia and I into ministry, I remember telling God these literal words. I said, God, I will not be a pastor. Because I had seen with my own eyes what my pastor had went through and the struggles that he was facing. And I said, God, I'm not going to do that. And lo and behold, you know, I did everything I could to resist that. And you know, I prayed, God, give me another direction. And lo and behold, God brought me into the pastorate in 1995. We moved up to Columbus, Ohio, serving our first church. Just a young whippersnapper going in this church that had been established with these older folks. And, you know, they put me in my place pretty quickly.
Oh, wow.
But that was good. You know, once again, you know, trials, you know, helped me to mature and taught me how to trust God and not myself. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that he has done, He being God, has done for my wife and I, is taught us how to walk in peace and to trust Him, no matter what the circumstances. You know, and we've been through some difficult circumstances. I'll give you one quick one. I hope it's okay. And when we moved up here, it brought us up here. We had a sporting goods business back in North Carolina. It was a business that my parents had bought several years earlier, and you know, they built it up. And you know, my plan was to take over the business, to create a sports ministry, to settle down right there in our own home or in our hometown, you know, with family and be comfortable, right? And he had our grandkid, you know, our parents' grandkids there, and you know, everybody was one happy family, right? And then God began speaking to us about starting a church. I thought, well, okay, yeah, we'll start a church here. It'll be different than all these other churches, you know, because one of the things that God used to call me into ministry was the fact that I was saved at age 19. And God used the fact that I could be raised in an area where there's a church literally on every street corner, and nobody ever took the time to tell me about Jesus.
Really? Wow.
And, you know, God used that. He placed that realization in my heart and soul that just think of how many people need to hear the name of Jesus. And that's what God literally bore into my heart and mind about going into ministry. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we'll start a church here in our hometown, and we'll make it, you know, a gospel preaching church and going out everywhere telling people about Jesus. Well, then our business started struggling, and we had to close down the business. And all of a sudden, all my plans were out the door. And so my wife and I mean, we sought God hard, and we knew that the call was real to start a church, but we had just misread where. So He had to strip all these comforts out of our lives in order for us to have our eyes open to see what He was trying to say to us. So long story short, He brought us here. Didn't have a job, didn't have a place to live, had a wife and 4 young children. I'm thinking, man, well, you know, what's going to come of this, you know? And lo and behold, we get up here, and He, you know, miraculously brought a relationship into our lives that opened the door for a church, and I mean, not a church, but a house. We were living in this house with another family. There were 12 of us in this house.
Oh, wow. 12.
Yeah, 12. And there were days where I would literally open the cabinets in the kitchen, and there would literally be nothing in the cabinets.
Oh, wow.
And then we'd have bags of groceries show up on our doorstep just miraculously. Don't know who brought them or how they got there. And God did those kind of things. And over the years, God really showed us His way of taking care of us. And it wasn't through our efforts or our understanding. And when you call me peace, it brought me back to all that, thinking about, man, God really has taught me how to trust Him. No matter what the circumstances, He provides. And I'm willing to be at peace with whatever it is, even if it's being homeless again or, you know, not having anything. You know, my goal is not to have the biggest retirement account, but to be ready for the second coming. And this is where our society is, our world is at that point where, you know, there's they don't accept absolute truth. I believe God's Word to be absolutely true. And
Hi everyone, thank you for viewing us. So do us a favor, click that big red button down there that says subscribe. When you subscribe, it's totally free to you. Not only is it totally free, but you'll get a notification each Monday when we post new interviews, new insight, and new information. We hope you are enjoying what you're viewing thus far. Please tell your friends about us, tell your family members, your church members. Hey, find a stranger in the street, tell them about it too. We want to take this message to the world. Have a good day, and thank you for watching Alabaster's Box.